In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon His last and beloved Messenger Muhammad, and may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon you all. The title of this video is Arrogance, the main weapon of Satan. Now in this video I will show how Satan, the devil, tries to make each and every one of us arrogant. And you will see the horrible consequences from this if a person has this quality, the quality of arrogance. Now we can understand the title of this video, that arrogance is the main weapon of Satan, from pondering upon verse number 12 of chapter 7 of the Quran, which reads, the translation is the following. Allah God said, "What prevented you that you did not prostrate yourself when I commanded you?" Satan said, "I am better than him. You created me from fire, and him you create from clay." So in this Quran verse, Allah God Almighty tells us what happened when He commanded Satan to prostrate to Adam, to honor him. Allah tells us that Satan refused to prostrate to Adam, to honor Adam. Why? Because Satan thought that he was better than Adam based on the substance that he was created from. Because Satan knows that he was created from fire. So on this basis, he thought that he was better than Adam because Adam was created from clay or from the soil. Now, here, this defines what is arrogance. Arrogance is the act that a person believes that he's better than somebody else on a false basis. So here we see that Satan, he thought that he was better than Adam based on a false basis, which is the substance of creation, the substance he was created from. So this is arrogance. Now Allah tells us the punishment for this quality, the quality of arrogance, in the next verse, verse number 13 of chapter 7, which reads, Allah God said, "Get down from this. It is not for you to be arrogant here. Get out, for you are of those humiliated and disgraced." So we see that Allah God Almighty punished Satan for his arrogance by expelling him from His mercy, and he became humiliation and disgraced. So we see that this this quality of arrogance Allah hates, and if a person has this quality, then he will have pain and despair in this life and hereafter. And Allah also says in the same chapter, chapter 7, verse 27, the following, "O children of Adam, let not Satan deceive you, as he got your parents out of paradise." So this is the beginning of the verse. So here Allah God Almighty warns us that Satan will try to deceive us here in this life, as he deceived our parents, Adam and Eve, peace be upon them both. So what we learn from this, that the attack of Satan in this life is real. Because someone might think that this story happened in the past, and there is no kind of connection for it here. But actually, Allah tells us that the attack of Satan is real in this life, and that Satan will try to deceive us as he deceived Adam and Eve, peace be upon them both. Now, before I explain how does Satan try to make each and every one of us arrogant, let me first explain from the guidance of the Quran, what is the true basis for differentiation between people. We can learn this from chapter 49, verse 13, which states, "O people, Allah God has created you from a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, that you may know one another. Verily, the most honorable of you with Allah God is the most pious. Verily, Allah God is all-knowing, all-aware." So here we learn that Allah is telling us the correct basis for differentiation, which is piety. What does piety mean? Piety means obeying the commands of Allah Almighty. This is one of its meanings. So the more you obey the commands of Allah God Almighty, the more pious you are. So Allah is telling us that piety is the true basis for differentiation, is the only basis for differentiation in the sight of Allah God Almighty. The more pious you are, the closer you are to Allah God Almighty, and the higher in rank you are, not based on your race or your achievements or your position or anything else. Now, coming to the question, how does Satan make a person arrogant? Now, in order to answer this question, we need to know, brothers and sisters, how does Satan affect each and every one of us? And the only book on the face of the earth which gives this answer is the Quran. There is no book in existence besides the Quran which can tell you how does Satan affect each and every one of us in a scientific, detailed manner. And I talked about this in so many of my lectures, so I'll give here a summary for this. Firstly, we can understand and learn from the Quran that each and every one of us has a companion devil, which means that when you are born, there is a devil assigned to you at birth, and he stays with you till death, and he's a companion for you on your earthly journey. And we also learn from the Quran that each and every one of us has a voice of oneself, and that's the voice you speak with, and the same voice you hear in your head when you are thinking quietly to yourself. That's the voice of yourself. Also, Allah tells us, how does this companion devil affect us? In chapter 114 verse 4, which states, from the evil of the whisperer who hides. From the evil of the whisperer who hides. So here Allah is telling us that this companion devil, he whispers to you, he talks to you like a person talking to you, but at the same time he hides from you, meaning that he doesn't want you to feel his presence. Now the question is, how can your companion devil talk to you and at the same time hide from you? The only way he can accomplish this is if he matches his voice with regards to tone, language, style of speech, to the voice you hear in your head when you are thinking quietly to yourself with your own voice. So he matches his voice, and you experience thoughts in your mind, or thoughts just pop up in your mind. And you think that yourself is telling you this because the voice is identical, but actually it's your companion devil, Satan. And these thoughts that pop up in your mind from Satan, they contain ideas of harm, telling you to hurt yourself and others, ideas of lust and perverted sexual ideas, and to say about Allah what you have no knowledge of, like insulting Allah God Almighty and His Messenger. All of these thoughts, they are from Satan, but you think that you are thinking of these ideas because the voice is identical. Now, another effect of Satan on us, which Allah tells us in the Quran and teaches us in the Quran, can be known from pondering upon chapter 113, verse 4 in the Quran, which reads, and from the evil of the blowers in the knots, and from the evil of the blowers in the knots. Here Allah is telling us that this companion devil, he blows in the knots. What are the knots? If we think about the human brain, we see that the neurons in the brain, the neural cells, they are arranged in a groupings. It's like a nodes or knots, neural knots. And one of the functions of these knots is to engender various feelings in the body. For example, the feeling of happiness and the feeling of fear. And the mechanism is the following, that when these knots are stimulated by vibrations, they produce ionic currents, and these ionic currents, they cause the contraction of muscles. For example, let me give an example here to illustrate this point. Suppose that you left your house in the morning and you are going to work, and on the way to work you start experiencing thoughts in your mind by a voice match the one you think with, telling you like you forget to lock the front door, and as a result of this you'll be robbed and calamities will befall you. This is the whispering of Satan by a voice match the one you think with. At the same time, because he talks, he produces vibrations, he blows, he directs these vibrations to the neural knots in the brain that produce tightness in the chest, the feeling of heaviness in the chest, the feeling of fear. So he tries to reinforce the thought he just whispered to you with this engendered feeling. the feeling of fear. So now, having understood from the Quran how does Satan affect each and every one of us, we come to the point as to how Satan makes a person arrogant. I'll give examples here, real life examples, because if a person thinks of what I'm saying as a theory from the Quran, theoretical kind of argument, now the way to prove a theory is to compare it with experimental findings, with reality. Now if there is a perfect match between the theory and reality, then the theory becomes a law. So if we now take real life examples, to take an example on the American people, as to how does Satan make the American people arrogant. It is as follows. The companion devil of the American citizen, he comes to him with a voice match the one he thinks with, and he tells him in his mind, look, you are an American, look how America achieves, is the best country on the face of the earth, so you must be better than everybody else. As a result of this, the American citizen becomes arrogant on a false basis, on the basis of achievement. So he becomes arrogant, he thinks that he's better than everybody else. And the horrible consequence of this is the following. Firstly, he doesn't listen to any advice. So when the Muslim, they tell the American people that Islam is the only true religion, it's the way to be saved. Because Satan deceived the American citizen into becoming arrogant, meaning that he believes that he's better than everybody else. So what happens is that this person, this American citizen, stops listening to any advice or any external kind of information. He becomes like in a closed space. He becomes isolated. And as a result of this, if he's doing something wrong, he'll keep on doing this wrong deed. Exactly like Satan did when he disobeyed Allah Almighty. He continued doing this kind of wrong deeds because he was arrogant. So we see, brothers, when a person becomes arrogant, is the beginning of the end. It is a very kind of horrible state. So the American becomes arrogant, he stops listening to any kind of advice, he can hurt other people because he thinks that he's superior, he's better than everybody else, so they don't count for anything, the other people. Let me give another example on the European people. Again, their companion devil comes to them with a voice match than what they think with, telling the European citizen that, look, you are the white race, a superior race. So other people like black people, like Arabs, they don't count for anything. So as a result of this, the European becomes arrogant, and he may hurt people, rob people, do bad deeds, because he thinks that he's better than everybody else and the other people don't count for anything. Another example on the arrogance of the Arabian people, for example, the rich Arabs, their companion devil comes to them with a voice match the one they think with, telling them in their mind, look, you are very rich, so you must be better than anybody else, than everybody else. And as a result of this, this rich Arab, he starts treating people badly, insulting people, and he becomes arrogant based on his money. And as you can see, brothers and sisters, that all of these kind of reasons for arrogance, they are false basis for differentiation between people. And as Allah teaches in the Quran, the only true basis for differentiation between people is piety. The closer you are to Allah Almighty, that's the only true basis for differentiation between people. To continue, the arrogance of youth. Now, Satan, this companion devil, comes to a young person, telling him in his mind, look, you have so much health, so, enjoy your life. Then at a later stage you will seek Allah God Almighty, you will seek religion, but now enjoy yourself. So this young person becomes arrogant based on his health. And as a result of this, he disobeys Allah God Almighty, and the horrible consequences of this. Another example of the arrogance of the learned people, people with degrees like doctors, lawyers, engineers, and so forth. Now, they have knowledge. So Satan comes to them with a voice match the one they think with, telling them, look, you have so much knowledge, then you must be better than everybody else. So as a result, you see, for example, doctors and PhD holders and lawyers, so many of them, they treat people like they are in a lower kind of state, and they become arrogant. And as I already explained, the kind of the bad consequences of this quality of arrogance. So you see, brothers and sisters, all of these examples are real life examples, and they are happening. So, because if you ask an American, if you ask a European citizen, if you ask a rich Arab, he will tell you exactly that they experience these thoughts. If he's honest, that they experience these thoughts, they are telling me exactly what I just said in this lecture. So we see that if you consider what I'm saying a theory, if you compare it with real life situations and reality, you'll find a perfect match between the two, which means that it's not a theory, it is a law. So please, brothers and sisters, we need to be aware of this. And don't be arrogant based on a false basis, a false premise. Because the only kind of true basis for differentiation is piety. The closer you are to Allah God Almighty, the more you obey Him. That's what elevates you in a higher state in the sight of Allah God Almighty. So please, brothers and sisters, let us teach this to others so that they can see the beauty of the Quran and the mercy of Allah God Almighty, because Allah is the most merciful. He explains this to us to save us from Satan. And to know more details about this topic, please visit my website at www.quran-miracle.com, and you can email me at zaidquran@yahoo.com, and may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon you all.